Hey everybody, it's part 3.
Today's.
I'm Melissa.
Jenny.
And we're Parents Against Santa Susana Field Lab. We're highly caffeinated and we're ready to give you some important information.
Reason number 3 why attending Groundwater U is important is because in March, remediation starts at the Area 1 burn pit at the Santa Susana Field Lab.
What was the burn pit used for?
Illegal dumping of hazardous waste, spills. They shot at barrels and had them explode.
And they would burn toxic materials they said it was easier than getting permits to dump this in the ocean because that was a better option.
So it's extensively contaminated.
Yeah. One of the most contaminated parts of the Santa Susana Field Lab.
Of the entire site. So DTSC's strategy for this was to get a emergency action, which means this cleanup action is not pursuant to CEQA regulations. CEQA, California Environmental Quality Act. The CEQA regulations require environmental review and opportunity for public input. We got to talk to them about it, but our input did not affect the cleanup decisions because the cleanup plans at the Area 1 burn pit don't include or take into any consideration risks to human health. The cleanup will be a partial cleanup. And the reason why the reason why this connects to the Groundwater U tonight is because DTSC is not admitting any connection between a partial cleanup action and potential impacts to groundwater. And where we're going to connect the dots for you is that partially remediated soil results in mobilized soil. Mobilization could.
We'll be fair.
It could mobilize contaminated soil because they're not cleaning it all up. They're going to leave some there. This is not being cleaned up to background. This is not being cleaned up to suburban residential or any other human health standard. So there is the potential for disturbed soils that could still be contaminated to mobilize in wind or rainwater. And if it mobilizes in stormwater and stormwater runoff, DTSC has the practice of rerouting their stormwater to Silvernail Pond. Silvernail Pond is not lined.
It's on the Santa Susana Field Lab.
Yes.
It's a natural pond.
And they route it because they don't want it coming off site, because then if it comes off site, they have to pay fines for exceeding contamination limits. So their solution is to route it towards this pond.
So they take the runoff. Remember that NPDES permit we talked in the last video? That's what they're trying to avoid the fines from. So they take the runoff, they pipe it through into this Silvernail Pond.
That isn't lined, and so there is the potential for water and its contaminants to percolate into the groundwater. So there might be an increased potential through this emergency action of the cleanup or partial cleanup of one of the most extensively contaminated areas of SSFL to impact the groundwater. They're not going to be talking about this tonight, but we need to understand.
We can bring it up. We should bring it up. Why don't you bring it up, guys? You watching the video.
I will too.
Okay. Because this is important because they're saying right now that the clay soil at Silvernail Pond, they're saying that's enough to protect all the people's drinking water from their groundwater below.
But they don't know that because they haven't tested it.
They've never tested. Oh, that's interesting. If they've never tested it,
then how do they know?
How do they know? Good guesses. That's science. Good feelings about it. Not because clay should be enough, right?
And that's why they have the stormwater and groundwater panels separate. They don't want to talk about how they influence each other. But tonight we're going to continue to bring it up.
And with the NPDES permit, with the surface water issues, Boeing pays the salary of the scientists who are picked by the water board to be the water experts for the Santa Susana Field Lab for the surface water.
Right, and they also pay the ones that we will see tonight who are handling the issues with the groundwater.
Well, will we? We can't guarantee that. That Boeing will be paying. They'll be paying for their own people there. But DTSC will be paying for their people there, right? It's likely. We'll see. One way or another, they're too cozy. We can say that for sure. And you won't see Dan Hirsch at this meeting, who knows extensive amounts or any independent
Are you certain
hydrologist.
he's not coming? Are you certain?
Well, he'll be there, but he's not on the panel.
Oh.
He's not on their panel.
I
They're
hope
not.
he's there speaking up.
Yeah, he'll. I'm sure he will, because he's great and he takes such good care of our community.
Yeah.
He won't abandon us. But
And if he's busy tonight, he's not abandoning us.
no,
But
he'll watch the video and he'll come with some scathing reviews. I promise you.
guarantee.
I promise you.
Yeah.
Dan's great like that. But no, I'm saying like it's not an independent
Correct.
panel.
Yes.
That
no.
they're not bringing in independent people to be teaching us about the groundwater issues, because that wouldn't be beneficial to them.
If they were really bringing in independent people to talk about the groundwater issues, they'd talk about the contaminated nature of the groundwater at length.
Yeah, that would probably be the start of their
And tell us
presentation.
about our,
Maybe they will.
And
You
tell us
never
about our
know.
cleanup. DTSC, if you're listening, we want to hear about your remediation plans for the groundwater.
Yeah, that would be great, because right now Boeing was supposed to, they started and then they stopped. And last thing I heard was that Boeing had a we're reaching our 5-minute mark. We might have to do part 4. Dang it. Ready. In part 4, you guys can learn more about what Boeing did so they never have to clean up the groundwater.